happy holidays.
Happy holidays. It's that time of year.
Right. Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah and
happy Kwanzaa. Yes.
And Feliz Navidad.
And if you don't celebrate, happy day.
Right.
Anything. So today, this week is going to be Christmas. So we want to come with, since it's so close to the end of the year.
Yes. Can you guys believe it?
I know. We're still in the midst of reading our December reads, but I think we can fairly safely go ahead and get into our favorite reads for the year.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get into it. All right. So we're going to do our top 5 and a couple of honorable mentions. So you want to start with your number 5?
Okay. So number 5 for me is going to be Monday's Not Coming. This is a book I read recently, and we didn't do a review, but I think we mentioned it in our
we mentioned it in our wrap up.
And I really enjoyed this book. I bought it, and I ended up actually listening to it on audiobook because I didn't have the time to read it. But I really enjoyed it. I just felt like the story, there were some things that could have been, better, whatever. But I really enjoyed the story. I believe I gave it 5 stars, and I just appreciated all the themes and whatnot in it. And I wasn't expecting it to be as deep as it was. But I really enjoyed the writing and the characters and all of that or whatever. So yeah, Monday's Not Coming for me. Number 5, one of my faves this year.
Okay, so I got mine on my phone, kind of, sort of. I do have it because this was one of the ones, the credits.
My shirt tie-dye, y'all. It's not dirty.
You ain't gonna be able to see it, but that is number 5 is Transcendent Kingdom. You can't see that. By GYASI. So that was one of my favorites for the year.
I still need to read that.
It was a really hearty story. I really enjoyed her writing. Her coming from a homegoing, which was her debut, which was Christmas, which was excellent, excellently written, excellently telling the stories of, Black people's ancestry and things like that. So great story. So it's kind of like, how's she going to do, what's she going to do next? How's she going to do it? But I thought Transcendent Kingdom was really good, really relatable, especially for someone like moi. And just a really touching story. If you don't know, it's about a woman. She's a neuroscience. Her family is her mom is heavily religious. Kind of go through some trials and tribulations, but is studying the effects of like depression and addiction, and just kind of going through her story and her kind of reckoning with the things or the different events in her life. So I loved it. Like I said in the wrap up, the end was a little hint, but other than that, it was one of my favorites for the year. So that's Transcendent Kingdom by GYASI. Jesse. I don't know.
Okay, so one of my number 4.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
My number 4 for the year is also a book that I read. I did the audio, but Kristen has that physical book, so I'm going to use her book. Is Americana by Chimamanda NGOZI ADICHIE. So, and we had discussed in one of our previous videos that she has had some problematic things going on right now. But nonetheless, when I read this book, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I did the audio, and it made me laugh. It made me tear up sometimes. The writing, I felt like the character even. I teared up a little bit, I think. And it made me laugh a lot. And I think the character, being that she is a millennial, and like the timing of it, because it's post 9/11 America, I just really related to the character, even though she's from, she's a.
Was she Nigerian?
Yeah, she's Nigerian and coming into America, and that's what her story is based on. But I enjoyed this book. I had been wanting to read it for a very long time. When I finally did, I was like, okay, I see the hype, and it made me want to read the rest of the books that she's written. So, which I may or may not. But yeah, so. Americana, one of my faves this year. I really enjoyed this book.
All right, number 4 for me is boom, The Vanishing Half by BRIT BENNETT. So I don't know. I didn't know between Transcendent Kingdom and Vanishing Half. I am currently listening to The Mothers as well by BRIT BENNETT, and I can already tell that's going to be on par as far as my feelings. But I really enjoy the journey that happened in The Vanishing Half. So if you don't know, it's about 2 sisters. They're twins. A set of twins. Is that we struggled with the way to say it. that one goes off and lives her life as a white woman, the other goes off and lives her life as a black woman. They're really fair, so they can pass for white. So it's just a lot of ups and downs, their journey, a lot of scandal, a lot of, you know, juiciness to it as well. But it just really dove into, like, you know, race and just self-worth and how you, like, view yourself as well. So just a lot of great things in this story. So The Vanishing Half was one of my favorites. So it's number 4 for the year for me.
Okay, so number 3, we getting up there, y'all. Number 3 for me is a book. I think, we read this book physically. It was a while ago, but number 3 for me is Such a Fun Age by KILEY Reid. Is that her name? So yeah, we did a whole review on this book, and it was all the rage when it had came out. And I remember feeling like it was a good book, but it was a lot. There was some missed moments we felt that the author could have kind of expound on, but didn't elaborate on in the way that we would have wanted her to. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed the story. I remember feeling like this girl talks and acts the way, you know, like how like me and my friends did at that age, and feeling like you know, you could relate, which is what I like. Y'all know I like to relate to the people in the books or whatever. So I really enjoyed Such a Fun Age because I feel like at the time too, it got me back into like, oh yes, reading, like, oh yeah, like this is good, like it's gonna get my momentum back, whatever. Yeah, it was at the beginning of the year, so it really like set me up. Even though I kind of fell a little bit, you know, but it's 2020, y'all. Y'all know what's going on this year. So yeah, Such a Fun Age was definitely one of my favorite reads this year. I really enjoyed it, and definitely want to read some more by that author.
Okay. Number 3, I have the books. I just didn't bring them with me. I bought both of them. So I'm going to put them together. A lot of, you'll see my top ones, I cheated a bit. So my number 3 is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. It was a duology about a gang, a mishmash gang of, you know, these criminals. I don't know how to describe them, but led by this criminal mastermind, pulling off this this impossible heist, and the kind of downfall that comes with, you know, completing this task. I thought it was very like Ocean's 11 meets fantasy. I thought it was really good. It was really well written. She gave a lot of information, went to the through the backstories of all the characters. You really grew with each character and learned to like love them for their flaws and all. So yeah,
everybody that has read that book says it's like the best.
It is,
and I own it.
Yeah,
Six of Crows. I need to read that.
So that whole series or duology or whatnot is really good. I have her newest or latest series on on deck for next year. So I'm going to get into the 9th house and everything and see what that's about. But I'm really intrigued by her writing and wouldn't even mind going back to her previous series. So yeah, that was my number 3.
Okay, we getting up there, y'all. So number 2 for me is Their Eyes Were Watching Guide by ZORA Neale Hurston. So this book, I own a couple of her books, and this is one I've had for a while. And when I read this, it was one of those like, okay, ZORA Neale Hurston, like she's a literary, you know, like god or whatever. Yeah, she is. Like she's I feel like she's one of those authors like you have to at least read one of her books to, you know, if you're a reader type of thing. So, and I read this book, and I really enjoyed it. It was kind of hard to get into like the dialect a little bit because it's written a little, you know, it's written like I want to say in like the 1930s. So the dialect is a little bit different. But once you get into the story and about this woman's life, Janie, was Janie?
It's your favorite, one of your favorites. You should know.
I don't even know about yeah, Janie. But yeah, it just it's just so relatable. I just feel like what women go through, and it was in the 1930s, so it's like, you know. But I really enjoyed this book. Really, one of those that made me laugh, cry, all of that. So yeah, Their Eyes Are Watching God, and I feel like it's one of those books that was not hyped up, but it's one of those like, oh, like you hear about all the time, and it lived up to the hype for me, kind of. So she not into it, but
I'm gonna read that one.
Girl,
I don't know when, but I really am. I'm intrigued by her and her life and her journey.
No, that is
and her
good.
writing.
Once you get past like the first chapter, I feel like you'll like it.
All right. So for
What's your
me,
number
2, another cheat. I got through a good amount of his catalog this year, so I didn't want to place any book above, except for I will.
Wow.
Any book above the other, because I really enjoyed 2 of his books this year, and the other 2 were still good. So that's Anxious People by FREDRIK BACKMAN and Beartown by FREDRIK BACKMAN. But I also read Us Against You, which is the sequel to Beartown, which was really good as well. And then I read BRIT Marie Was Here, which was kind of okay, but still on par. But all of his books are really touching, really heartwarming, really takes you through a roller coaster of emotions. You laugh at some moments, you cry at some moments, you like get angry at some moments. Like, it's a lot that he puts into his book, which is why he's one of our favorite authors. So yeah, I really enjoyed Beartown, but I also really enjoyed Anxious People. So I want to put them together. But since I also read the other ones, I want to kind of give them some love too.
Yeah.
So FREDRIK BACKMAN books this year. Bachman back me. Yeah. FREDRIK, I love his books, so they're my number 2. My number 2, all of them. All of them, put them together. Number 2.
Y'all, but that's fine.
So before we get to our number 1, got a couple of honorable mentions that we want to throw out there. They weren't quite in the top 5, but they were still great books.
Yeah,
so.
that we really enjoyed this. So you want me to do both mine and then you do both of yours, or just do one?
Yeah, do both yours.
Okay, so for me, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Elizabeth? That one I really enjoyed. I believe we did a book review on that one too. It was about 2 sisters who share the same dad and didn't know about each other until their dad dies, and just how they come together, their families. I remember just really enjoying that book, and it was really anticipated because I had read her first 2 books.
3, wasn't it?
I thought it was 2. With the Fire on High
and Poetic.
Okay, yeah, and this is in Clap When You Land was her 3rd one, so it's highly anticipated because I really enjoyed both of her books. And the first 2, yeah, I really enjoyed that book. It just wasn't in my top 5 because I just felt like the other ones were just a little bit better. But I definitely love Elizabeth Acevedo. I want to say she's one of my favorite authors this year too, like that I've discovered over the past few years. So. Oh, and then my other honorable mention is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. And that's a book that we have mentioned before on this channel that we read during, was it
Pride Month?
Yeah, I believe we read it during Pride Month, but
around that time.
Yeah, we listened to our audiobook, and just a very, like, it was kind of like almost a memoir, like a life story, just like his experiences. And it was just I just enjoyed the book. It was short, it was sweet, it was to the point, funny. It had a lot of relatable moments in it as well. And I just remember really enjoying it and feeling good after reading that book. So
yeah, I would agree with your honorable mentions. I like those. But my 2 honorable mentions is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I really enjoyed that book. I enjoyed Circe by her as well, and
I like Circe too.
Went back and read The Song of Achilles this year, and it was just a really beautifully told love story about Achilles and his companion Patroclus, and just really unpacks a lot of Greek mythology in it as well. And I love Greek mythology. So it's just a retelling, a very modern retelling of some stories you may love. That's how she does it, and I just really thought it was a beautifully told story. So that's one of my honorable mentions. And then the other one you forgot about, Recursion by Blake Crouch.
We read that this year?
Yes, in January.
I don't think it's not in my Goodreads thing, so I didn't see it. I don't think we read that this year.
You do? Yeah, we did.
Well, I did like Recursion, but whatever. But y'all know I love Blake Crouch.
We did a review of that one as well, and I almost forgot about it until I was scrolling. I was like,
I gotta look again, but yeah.
You've got to load more. You got to click that at the bottom.
Anyway.
But Recursion, if you don't know, or go back and watch our review, but if you don't know, it was a sci-fi story of this man, Barry.
Yeah, I think that was
Oh! Look at you. And Helena.
Yes, Helena.
So, but they was going through basically, Helena was studying memory, had some time loop situation going on, you know.
That's my honorable mention too. I remember that. I love that book. Go ahead. Now I just remember.
But yeah, so that one was an excellently told story. I'm a huge fan of his now between the two books I've read by him.
We love Blake.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to anything else he got coming out. So what's your number one? Now it's time for
so number one, I won't do too much because Kristen already talked about it, which is my number one. The Vanishing by BRIT, Bennett, y'all. Just really enjoyed the book, the writing, the story. Like Kristen said, it just made you really think about, like, you know, identity and self-worth and just like how you view yourself and how people view you. It was a good story, good book. It made me want to like look up some stuff. I'm like, does this town really exist? All of that. So yeah, definitely makes me want to like read the rest of her writing. I really enjoyed this book. Like, there's nothing bad I could say about it. I feel like
no, it was a really good book.
Yeah, it was a really good book. So that's it for me. The Vanishing, y'all. What's your number one? Because I already looked at your page and I'm in.
My number one, I just finished it not too long ago and I just talked about it, is Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. I cannot, I want to mention it again because I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed his.
That good?
It is good. And that's coming from me, who doesn't like nonfiction, who doesn't really like memoirs.
She really
who doesn't really like, I stay very much in my fictional world.
And that's your number one for the year?
It was just so eye-opening. It was so like placing a lot of things in perspective. It was just like listening to a good conversation of one-sided conversation, but of a person just going through moments in their life that really shaped and molded the person that they are. Oh my God. Like like his stories will stick with you. Like you think about them and you're like, oh my God, like it's so great that you can gain so much perspective through little moments, like in hindsight. And it's like,
see, I wish we would have read it at the same time so we could have did a review, but
we can still do a review.
We could. I just haven't gotten it yet. I might go buy it at this point because she gassing it so much.
It is good. It's good. So
which I'm the one that suggested it, so I know it probably is. I know it's good.
For me to not, like, that's not typically a type of book I would gravitate towards. And the fact that I enjoyed it as much as I did, that really speaks volumes to the book and the storytelling that he provided. And I just really loved it. I would continuously to highly recommend it. It was just great. So that's my number one of the year. It snuck up. It snuck up in there because I had a different one, but it snuck up in there.
What was going to be your number one? Tell the people.
Probably Beartown or probably the BACKMAN.
Probably BACKMAN.
Yeah, because Beartown moved me.
It did. I'm gonna read that. That's probably gonna
like, oh my God. But Matthew, he said, I'm coming. All right. So let us know your favorite reads for the year. Throw some suggestions out there. Maybe we're missing some books. I feel like I had a good hearty year.
Yeah.
You had an okay year?
So far I've read 24 books this year, and my goal was 36. It's only like 2 weeks left in January. I mean, in 2020, so I probably won't get to 36. But I read 18 last year, so did better than last year. So I'm satisfied. I do feel like just looking through my books and what I've read, I do feel like I had more books last year that I read that I really resonated with than this year. And that may be just more because we've been trying to like read different things.
Yeah.
And, like trying to incorporate different stuff, which is fine. Like I'm not mad at it, but next year I'm gonna get back to my roots. I feel like I'm gonna get back to the roots, but I do. There's a lot of books I did enjoy this year, and I'm glad that I did read or whatever. But
yeah, for me, my goal was 45. I'm at 45, and I still got some more.
That's really good. That's
really good. But I think like you said, like I think I read a lot more books that I probably either wouldn't have read or would have read maybe later down the line. And I also
would have been top on your list.
I elevated my pace because last year I think my goal was 30. And
I was trying to read 3 books a month, and
yeah, next year we're going to get into more books. Probably I'm going to try to do I don't even know what I want to say what I know.
3 books a month. And I'm gonna try to make it. So,
but yeah, I had a good reading year. I think I had some good books sprinkled throughout the year, and it was just a matter of time trying to get to them. So next year we're looking forward to reading even better books.
Yes,
going back and like revisiting some stuff that we may have missed over the years, but we're looking forward to reading next year. So let us know again what you're reading. Like this video. Subscribe, comment, ring the bell, and have a happy holiday.
Yes, guys, enjoy your holiday. We'll see you next time.
And if you don't celebrate anything, have a good day.
Right.
Bye, guys.